All right, hey everybody, it's Jeff here of the mentor team at Realty Executives, Cooper Spransey, and I'm here with Hans from In Pursuit Fitness Training in Oregon, Wisconsin. Hans, thank you for popping on this morning. I know you still got busy days, so I appreciate you being here. Hans, for people who don't know who you are, what you do you want to share a little bit about what In Pursuit is and your space here in Oregon?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Yeah, so I opened up In Pursuit Fitness Training in downtown Oregon at the end of January of this year, so it's brand new. I've been a personal trainer for over 12 years, but worked for other organizations and finally decided to go out on my own. And so I found some space downtown. I absolutely love it. It's a personal training studio, so it's not a full-fledged gym. And the business model is that you subscribe to me in the gym and personal training, not just have a place to work out. And so it's a membership-based personal training. I've also started to offer some small group personal training. And now with all of the shelter in place things going on, it has certainly forced the fitness community to evolve. So a lot more remote training calls like this.
Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about that right now, if you don't mind? How exactly have you started to shift your business model quickly, as things have been changing very quickly for us as well in a short time period?
Right. All the trainers are doing the best that they can because, we have what so many people want. Obviously, I have my ear to the fitness community and people's health and fitness needs, so I hear it maybe more than others, but I know that people want to still work out. They just can't. The place that they go to is closed, or they don't have the equipment at their house. And so what I've tried to do, I've always done online training. I've always done remote training, but I've really upped the game now as far as making sure my tripod is set, making sure that we have appointments on the calendar. So it's a little bit more official and put together, because now it's an essential. It's not just a nice perk because somebody lives in Florida and they want to train with me. Now it's like they live, 2 neighborhoods away, but they can't come to the space anymore. And so just making sure that I have the right tools. And then also, the way that I'm trying to differentiate, Jeff, is I'm trying to say, because I know that a lot of people like yourself, I know you work out. And so, you might be saying, hey, I can't go to my gym anymore. I've got X, Y, and Z for equipment at my house. What should I do with them? I mean, there's the basics that people know, but, giving people an opportunity to say, show me what you have, and let's create a relationship where I can start doing some remote personal training for you. So that's one of the ways that I'm trying to do it. But, I'm trying to do as much as I can for free, because right now we all need to stay together. And so I'm just doing my best to say, we're in this together. How can I help and be a service to you? So that's how it started.
Yeah, so can we touch on that a little bit? Because like you said, so I'm lucky. I've kind of collected things over time, and I got kettlebells and bands and TRX and a rack and all kinds of fun stuff at home that I can touch on. But if I've been somebody who's been going to a gym and using equipment, I mean, how do you work with that to adapt to saying, all right, I want to keep working out, but I'm at home and I don't have stuff? I mean, what types of things are you involving, and how does that look for people?
So I lent a little bit of my equipment out. As I said, I'm not a big gym. So I wanted to make sure that I could work out, and people that wanted to still come to my facility and work one-on-one could get a few things done. So I didn't give away a lot of my equipment, but I did do what a lot of other gyms did. And kudos to the gyms who said, members, come rent out our equipment. I think that was a fantastic resource. So I try to get back to the basics. I have something called the Faithful Four, which is push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and lunges. Not very fun, but it gives you a program to say, I'm just going to take this time right now and do the basics, because there is absolute value in the basics. And then for someone like you, Jeff, I mean, so are you saying that you're different and that you have a lot of equipment? What do I do for the person who has like 2 pieces of equipment?
Or nothing, right?
Or nothing.
There's a variety.
You do a quick Google search, or you go on social media and you realize the body weight exercises have just about run their course. This thing is evolving week after week. And so every week it's kind of like you have to reinvent yourself. And so now the weather is getting nice. And so I'm encouraging people now to say, let's take the equipment you have, and now we're going to start building in some cardio. I love the Jeff Galloway run walk method. So I know that you're not a runner, Jeff, and there's plenty of other people who are not runners. but you still can go for a walk, and you can, figure out other cardio ways to start building in the outdoors, the great outdoors, into your fitness. So it's a matter of saying, I'm going to build on the Faithful Four and add some cardio. Then next week we might start saying, let's put exercise aside and let's start talking about nutrition, because that is not being talked about a lot. And then maybe the week after that, it's a focus on core. So you can't do everything. You're limited. At some point we have to realize, one, we're all in this together. Two, we are in unique situations. So I'm just trying to give my audience the understanding that I'm here for you. If you need a free workout, I will continue to give you a free workout. If you have X, Y, and Z at home, tell me what you have, and I'll give you a personal training program for that.
Perfect. So if for somebody who's like getting started with you, I'm sure that there's a lot of personalization that is going into some of these conversations. Is that accurate?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who's getting started with you, what does that process look like in terms of, you getting to know them and them getting to know you and figuring out how we're putting this whole thing together?
So I can't answer that in that this is a time when I'm supposed to be building my business, and that's obviously just not happening right now. But like, let's say in your example, let's say somebody watching this is like, yep, I need Hans for my trainer. Right now, that would mean emailing me and helping me understand where you're at. I need to go through a medical history with you. I certainly need to talk on the phone, but then there's also just some paperwork to fill out so that I know where you're at in the health spectrum. And then we start working on goals. I'm a firm believer in setting really smart goals. I'm not here to make anybody anything that they don't want to be. So if you want to be a runner, I'll help you make you a runner. If you want to get stronger, I'll help you do that. If you want to be more flexible, we'll do that. So it needs to be your goal, but then it comes back to me and my plan. So it all starts with the medical history, figuring out your goals, and then your timeline. And we don't know when this whole season is going to end. So there is no necessarily an end to your timeline. But again, I'm not just a one hit, I'm not here for just quick workouts here at In Pursuit. I'm trying to build long-term clients. I have less clients that probably pay a little bit more money because this is about long-term relationship and fitness building, not just give me a good workout. So for people starting with me, it would be a medical history, figuring out their goals, and then helping understand where were they at 3 weeks ago and how can I help them move forward in this time of uncertainty with what they have. That's how we start.
Yeah, no, that's good. Actually, one of the questions I have is I'm curious if you've seen changes in your clients that you have right now in terms of their habits, motivation, time, anything in changes now that we're all kind of stuck at home, right? So, and everybody's got different, everybody has different, parameters around that. I mean, obviously somebody living at home by themselves has a different lifestyle right now than somebody at home with 6 children in their house, right? But have you seen any changes in any of your clients in terms of like how they're using space or, using this as a great opportunity to get in shape?
I've seen one frustration. I mean, it really is hard when you have something taken away from you that you took for granted. That is hard because for some people, health and fitness just doesn't happen. And for other people, it absolutely happens because it's just a part of their life. And when you take that away, they can go to pretty bad and dark places. And I was worried about some of my clients. Sometimes you have clients that have a little hurdle in life and then they go away for a few months. And so I was worried that would happen. So far, it hasn't. I've been able to retain all my clients. It shows you, and you've probably seen this too, Jeff, with all this remote working now, we're starting to realize that we really don't have an excuse not to meet and do these kind of things. I mean, not everybody has the tripod and setup that you and I do, but we really can say, we are meeting on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We don't have to be in the same space. Let's get this done. And so it has been nice to see clients say, I don't have an excuse. Let's get this done. That's been kind of nice. And then with that, just a little bit of not desperation, I don't want to say, but a little bit more, whoa, this has changed. I can't afford to have my fitness take a back seat. What do I need to do? Let me look around. What do I have? What can I purchase? Hans, what can I borrow from you? And how do I think outside the box? I'm not an outdoor runner, but I need to get my fitness. I don't have a treadmill. I don't have a bike that I usually have at the gym. Hans says I need to go running. I may not become a runner. I might not do a 5K, but I need to get mine in. I'm going for a walk. Hans, next week, let's turn that into a jog. And so I do appreciate, I have seen a little bit of clients being willing to rethink their fitness.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, it's great that, people are being able and willing to kind of adapt or even take advantage of this current situation and make it into an opportunity as well for themselves.
Right.
Hans, is there anything else that you want to make sure that the community and people are aware of with what's going on at In Pursuit, or how you've adapted to meet people's needs here in this time? Did I freeze?
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, the number one thing I think is when I have times like this, and again, we don't know when this is going to end, but for the foreseeable future, we have a different calendar and a different schedule in front of us. And so we have new challenges. But, it's not like you can be extra healthy at this time and you're going to be at any less risk for the things that are going on. But I've always said that we need strong people to build up strong families, and then strong families build strong communities, and then strong communities build a strong culture. And so if it starts at that individual level, I just really encourage everybody to say, we're in this and it's not changing for this foreseeable future. Let's be proactive. As David Allen says, in Getting Things Done, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, be proactive with this and create a SMART goal. For me, I've got a handful of fitness things that I'm going to do on my social media, and as far as my training going, saying I can't do the things that I normally do. I'm going to pick a couple small goals. I'm going to learn how to do double unders with a jump rope. I'm going to work on my shoulder therapy, stuff that I wouldn't normally be doing. I've decided to make a specific goal of it so that I can say, whenever this is done, I look back and say, this is what I decided to work on, and I have something to show for it. So I just can't encourage people enough to say, look at a SMART goal, make it specific, relevant, actionable, relevant. I messed that up. Let's start over. Make it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Make yourself a SMART goal, and then find a team like you to hold you accountable to that. Reach out where you need resources, but pick a goal and go after it. That's the absolute number one thing I would recommend to people.
That's awesome. That's great, Hans. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning and taking the time. And, I hope things are holding up okay here for you at home as well, with the kids running around and everything. I know it's kind of madness. So hope you're hanging in there and doing well.
We are. Thanks for having me. This is a good thing you're doing. So thanks for doing it. I appreciate the invite.
You bet. Absolutely. So once again, this is Hans, In Pursuit Fitness Training here in Oregon. Hans, I forgot to ask before we sign off,
All right.
where do people find you to learn more?
Both Facebook and Instagram are at In Pursuit Training.
Perfect. All right. Online, social media, Hans with In Pursuit Fitness Training. Thanks a lot, Hans, and we'll talk soon. Take care.